I want to personally thank the Yeshiva for coming, Meshanissen, Shker for arranging. And I want to thank everyone that came from far, from near, from Brooklyn, from Waterbury, from Rockaway, from here from Muncie, taking time in their schedule, and from Manhattan. And we appreciate everyone that made the effort to come. In my mind, I feel it's a Emes Yom Tif. You know, the thoughts go back. We weren't around in 1923, but thoughts go back to how the Knesset Gedela looked when they were talking about the idea of Daf Yomi and Shtel sich vor. You know, no one imagined the way it looks today, and we're thinking now what's going to be in 30 years from now. How a Balabas is going to look at Shas. Shas is going to be, and that's what we're going to talk about today. It's going to be a Kinyan. It's going to be not just turning the dafim. It's going to be in the bones. It's going to be a Kinyan. And it brings to mind the pasuk that says, "V'adat ha'pnei zokein." Now, before I continue, I want to welcome Rav Shmuley Katz from Toronto. If you see us, I think, and Rabbi Ash from Mexico. I think they're hearing. Maybe they can't see. And Rabbi Yaakov Grun, if you hear us, welcome from California. And from Denver, Reb Chaim Sher. I don't know if you're hearing us or seeing us, but welcome to the Maimon. Welcome, my brother, Reb Nassan. And welcome everyone. We should be zeich at the grace of Siyata D'Shmaya. Pasuk says, "V'adarta pnei zokein," and the Rashi says zokein is referring to Zeh Shekana Chachma. The Chavetz Chaim asks, Zeh Shekana Chachma, we're missing a ches. Zokein is Zeh Shekana. Where do we see the word Chachma and the word Zokein? And the Chavetz Chaim explains, Dvarim Pshutim, that there's no other Kinyan besides Chachma, besides Torah. Of course, it has Zokein, Zeh Shekana. What other Kinyan could there be besides Torah, besides Chachma? Dalkani Machasa, Dalaikani Makani, Dalaikani Makani. The only Kinyan that we have in the world is a Kinyan of Torah. But now, how do we get to a Kinyan, a Emes a Kinyan, going to Shir and just turning down Mudu is not giving the Kinyan. How are we going to get to a Kinyan of Torah? The only way to get to a Kinyan of Torah is through Chazara and Nocham al Chazara and Nocham al Chazara. And B'nai Har, we had with the Bachrim, we had a lot of tremendous Hatzlacha. Bachrim go above and beyond when they get a Mesikas at Torah through Chazara. They go above and beyond when they feel that connection. And what comes to mind is literally a message that I got over this weekend from two different Bachrim. They said it the same idea in different words, and I'm just going to describe it real quick. One Bachar, in the beginning of the year, I give out these papers, and I asked the Bachrim to write from 1 to 10 the Hergish towards Gemara, and they don't have to write the name, they could if they want, and I save the papers, because throughout the year I take out those papers and I show them how the numbers are getting bigger, so the Bachrim, I have over whole envelopes of different papers from different Bachrim, and usually the numbers are 3, 4, 5, sometimes you have a 6 and a 7, but these two Bachrim I'm going to speak about was 0. The number on the paper, usually I ask from 1 to 10, I don't expect the 0 was 0, and I want to tell you, so you can see the Hergish, the line was flat, the Ruchni's line was flat, and these two Bachrim, they're not in Yeshiva anymore, one is in Eretz and one is in Adelphia. And one Bacha said he just finished Gemara Rashi Toiz Masechta Sukkah, and he's already up to 6 or 7 blad in Mitzia Gemara Rashi Toiz Rishonim and Achronim. The Bacha that was 0, and he said B'zeh Lashon. He said, what would have been with my life had I not been connected to Gemara? What would have been with me had I not never got that gefil? Shtel sich vor. He said in these words, what would have been with me? He said that from Eretz Yisrael just 2-3 days ago. And I got a message last night from a different Bach who also, I can show you his paper, he had a 0 on his paper. And he said he made a Seder in Adelphia, made a Seder now from 11 to 12 o'clock at night, after night Seder, to finish up different blot that I didn't know. And he sent a text message last night, Rabbi, today did 6 blot. Today did 6 blot in Gemara, and he said B'zeh Lashon. He said B'zeh Lashon on Friday. He says, what would be with me had I not gotten connected to the Gemara, had I not felt that Geshmak, that Mesikas? So how do we get to this Mesikas? How do we get to this Kinyan? Is through Chazara. Just to go through quickly our goal, we understand is Kinyan Hamasechta, to live and to love and to learn the Masechta and to own the Masechta, to think about the Masechta, to come home and take the Gemara. How many B'nai Chabura are sitting here in this room who told me clearly on the phone, or told the Rosh Chabura, that the Ratzon is to take a Gemara off the shelf and to feel connected to it, to feel a Geschmack to it. That's what it is. So how do we get there? So we're stelling avek and mitzvah with siyata d'shmaya, that there will be Rosh Chabura who are going to be Moise B'Leiv Nefesh. And the idea is that the B'nai Chabura, of course, at Chazar, we're hoping 3-4 times a day, hoping to Chazar on Shabbos, to write in the Gemaras, whatever's necessary, to make the Gemaras Chazarable. And we're talking about, we wanted the Dafka start next week, Tuesday, Mitzvah Shem, because this way, before Sukkot, we could get 1.5, 2 blot of Gemara, Klar over Sukkot, it could be Klar with the constant Chazar. This should be the gold standard, how Gemara needs to look, and the whole Masechta will end up looking like that once we could put on a pedestal how a blot Gemara should look. Somebody asked the Chavetz Chaim, how come yeshivas have to mucha to raise money from this gevir, from Yeni gevir? How come we have to mucha so much? And the Chavetz Chaim said, because Megalgal and Schus are the Zakai. He said, there's no one around. No, it's not Gamal to find one Zakai. You should have such a Zakai that he should be able to be Toimach Yeshiva himself. That's what you got to much, because you don't find such a Zakai that he should be able to be Toimach Yeshiva himself. Of course, there's exceptions. And there's exception of someone sitting here in the room tonight. There's exception not only b'teiras the schaskus in this idea of Kinyan Hamasechta, but I must say in the idea, the whole idea of why we're here tonight of Kinyan Hamasechta. Usually you have the Rosh Yeshivas thinking about the ideas and the Gevirim giving the Gashmias. To have one person to be so zakai that he can have this idea of Balabas needs to own a Masechta, and to be so zakai, to be taimachit is 1 in a million, and we are very grateful to he wants to be Elam Shmoi, so we'll keep it like that, but we're very grateful. I just want to end up with a bracha to everyone here. We should be Zeicha, the Rosh Chabura, the B'nai Chabura, to our goals of being Kinyan Hamasechta should be achieved. And like we say, when the Gemara is going to be Befinu, how does it get Befinu? How is it going to get Befinu through Chazara? And that's going to bring V'harav with the Pasha Taichis, V'harav, a Lashon of Mesikis. And that's going to bring, how do we get to the Mesikis? The V'harav, which is a Lashon of Taruvis, a Lashon of Chazara. And with the Mesikis that comes al Yidei Chazara will bring us to the third pshat I just heard, a Lashon of V'harav, a Lashon of Orev. A Lashon of the Eivish, there will be a guarantor, a Orev to us, that all the brachas and all the brachas Aksuvim B'Torah should be chal in all of us, and we should be zeichet to be Merayimim Kvoi Shemayim, Siyata D'Shmaya. I'm going to ask Rabbi David to give the bracha from here.
Shoot the Rosh Hashiva, it's embarrassing to speak in front of the Rosh Hashiva. I'm really not here to discuss the chashivas of learning, or the chashivas of chazara, or the chashivas of chaburas. I, being a working man, I'm here to tell everyone one thing, that tonight we are going to change the perception that Balabatim have, or that people have about Balabatim when it comes to learning. The perception that Balabatim have about themselves, that when they leave yeshiva, the goals of learning, the ligging and learning, the singing and learning is over. That's for yeshiva. And working guys, at best, go to a shir. I was at a program, and there was around 300 to 400 men. And in the program, there was a Beis Midrash. And I went to the Beis Midrash, and I didn't see one man there. I saw yeshiva boys. I saw yeshiva boys in Ben Azmanim. So I said, okay, maybe there's 300 men at the daf shir. 10 men at the daf shir. I came home, I went to a Rosh Hashiva, I said, what's going on? This is a crisis. Why is no one screaming about this? He said, you're joking? The Avrechim, the Koil and the Light, that have to go to work, they're shivering, because every man that they know, every guy, every ex-yeshiva guy that they know that left yeshiva doesn't learn, or they're limited in potential learning. No more. We need to establish the criteria that Balabatim could steig. It's not just when you're in yeshiva. Before I got married, I remember, sometimes you look back in your life and you see what certain conversations were life-changing to you. And I went, it was Erev Yom Kippur. I was working, I started to work. I was in the office late, and I had a spiritual nervous breakdown. I'm on Erev Yom Kippur, I'm in the office late. This is not for me. I made a decision, that's it, it's over, I'm quitting. I'm gonna, Moshe Nefesh, I'm gonna fight everyone, and I'm just gonna learn and become a rabbi. That was that was my statement. So in Sukkot, I went to Eretz Yisrael, and I couldn't wait to tell my Rav how proud he was gonna be of me. That I'm gonna, give up everything. So I told him, I said, I'm leaving. I'm fighting my family, I'm fighting everyone, I'm not working anymore. He says, you're going nowhere, relax. He goes, you're staying in the office. But he said, but one thing, you could work like a balabas, but you gotta learn like a bachra. He says, the ways the balabatim think that the Torah is not for them on a serious level. He says, it's not enough to hear about the chashivas and learning. We hear the rabbis giving a shiur, we hear the schmoozes about learning. It's not enough to hear. We need to taste it. Try to tell someone about candy. Ever tell anyone about it? Imagine someone never tasted candy. Sugar. You tell them, you say, it's so delicious and it's sweet and it tastes so good. No, but tell me, I don't understand. I don't understand what it tastes like. No, you have to understand. It's nothing like it. Just tell me more. I can't. So just taste it. Tamur uki tov. Just taste the sugar. You'll be addicted to it. The balabatim, enough of hearing about it. They need to taste the sugar. And when they taste that sugar, it will penetrate them like nothing else, as we all know. But the first obstacle is we have to believe in ourselves that we are on that level. We have to believe in ourselves that balabatim, and I'm talking to the Rosh Chabura, I'm talking to the Olam. Balabatim, it's a new generation of balabatim. We don't look at balabatim that at best they sit in a shmooze or sit in a shiur. They're singing the Gemara. And not only will this change them, but this could change Klal Yisrael. This could change the face of Klal Yisrael. Let me explain. If you look at the scope of Klal Yisrael, you have really, when it comes to learning, you have three different sectors. You have these Olam HaYeshivas, you have the Koilelim, and you have the Kiruv. And someone came to me, and every sector has their challenges, their problems, and believe me, there's a lot in each sector. Rahman al-Islam. And someone came to me, Adam Chashav Ma'od, and he says, you know who could change all of it? The Balabatim. Balabatim, are you joking? Balabatim are the most neglected sector of Klal Yisrael. They're going to change the world? He said, let me explain to you. You have thousands of Bachrim steiging all day. The Rosh Hashivas are pounding in them. Immerse yourself in learning, immerse yourself in learning. And what happens? They come home and they see their fathers have no shaykhs to Torah. Do you know what that does to a kid? The most respected person in this boy's eyes has no shaykhs to learning on a serious level. Now imagine those 1,000 Bachrim come home to a father that's steiging, that's ligging, that's singing the Gemara, that has a Kinyan. Do you know what a face that changes the face of Klal Yisrael? That changes the face of Klal Yisrael. Bachrim that have fathers that are running to the Gemara, not just sitting and schluffing in a shiur. That are running to the Gemara 4 hours before Mincha. Just all they need. Who is that? Yeah, that's my father. Singing the Gemara. Don't you think that could change Klal Yisrael? He said, look at the koilel. He says, imagine Balabatim. This is a Kinyan Hamasechta. This is the pilot. We finished Sukkah, Bal Peh. We have a Kinyan in Sukkah. Then next year, another Masechta. Imagine what's going to be in 7 years, and imagine this takes off. So you have Balabatim, working guys, knowing half a Shas, 10, 12 Masechtas, good to Kinyan. Do you know what level, how the Avreichim have to up their standard? If the Balabatim are steiging, do you know how much harder the Avreichim have to work? And if the Avreichim have to work harder, do you know what that does to the face of Klal Yisrael? Kir v'chokim. Who meets the most non-frum Jews in this world? It's the working guys. We meet non-frum Jews also. Now, if you're just hearing about the chashivas, okay, so I'm frum, you're not, we'll figure out how to get along together. But if we have a Kinyan, if the working men are bubbling with learning, I want them to taste the candy too. It's not enough for me. The Chavetz Chaim says the best kiruv is for you to steig, and then it's just automatic. You want to give it over to everyone. Do you know how many more people could be? All of a sudden, these working men become mashpim. Not because it's not for me, it is for me. It's natural. When you have Torah in your bones, you want to share it. You love candy. You want to share the sugar. So, and this is us. This is the future. This is the potential. We don't realize what we could do by this room. Because this is a pilot. If we're successful, this could take on a new level. And when this takes on a new level, everything could change. Mashiach could come to a new Klal Yisrael. A new class of learning. You know, there was a rabbi, he told me, he says confidential. He said, you know, I'm a rav of a shul, and I have to deal with everyone's problems. I have to deal, you know, the shalom bayis problems coming through my door, and the chinuch problems, and the internet problems, and this problems, and that problems. And I have to sit and give everyone advice, and give everyone, you know, mahalchim, and hadakang, and the shalom. He goes, you know what I just want to tell them? I'm not allowed to, but you know what I just want to tell them? If only you were steiging, if only you were learning, you wouldn't have this balagan. You wouldn't have this shtos. If only, all this is not because you're not learning the simchas achayim that you could reach. If you're a working man learning and understand you're capable of it, you wouldn't have these problems. Because Hashem, this takes commitment. It takes commitment of the balabatim, of the working men. They have to realize the potential that's at stake. This is not a light thing. We have to realize a commitment, what a commitment means. Businessmen, which we're targeting only businessmen. We should know best. In order to get money back, I have to invest. It's a simple fact. Real estate, you want to get a huge return on your investment, you got to put in the money. We want the ribbis. We want it. We want the profits. But we got to put it in. And maybe you won't taste the candy day one, day two. But believe me, Torah is tamima. Torah is perfect. It's for everyone. There's no one that says, maybe you're not eating it the right way. And that's the whole point of the Chazara system. To give everyone a taste. To give them a taste of that candy. And that's the Kabbalah. Before Rosh Hashanah, it's not a Kabbalah in your learning. This is a Kabbalah that we're going to take for your shalom bayis, for the chinuch of your children, for Klal Yisrael. Because once you learn on a serious way, you elevate the home. You elevate everything changes. Everything changes. And with that, Be'ezrat Hashem, we could greet Mashiach, Be'ezrat Hashem, like we said, as the new Klal Yisrael. A Klal Yisrael that is not just talking about how Torah is so important, but that's tasting the sweetness and the metikas of Torah. That Hashem, we shall be zoch and successful in this program.
I really feel I shouldn't even say a word, because the fire and the passion and the Ahavas HaTorah and the Ahavas Yisrael that we all just heard should be inspiring all of us, and this is the fire that has to spread. So I'm just going to reinforce the words that you heard. First of all, Paeschem B'chvoid Achsanya, Reb David, and Reb David, the two Reb Davids here are the Balei Achsanya. I was going to say one is a Yisachar, one is a Zvulun, but I'm not sure anymore. I think they're both Yisachar and Zvulun together, each one of them. There's an excitement here, there's an electricity in the air, and hopefully, Be'ezus Hashem, one day we'll be able to look back and say that we were at this meeting, and that we were here when all this began. We're in the days before Rosh Hashanah, and I saw a mashal from the Dubna Magid, and I found the mashal a little bit troubling. He explains we're going to soon be asking Zochreinu L'chaim Melechofetz B'chaim. And he tells a story about there was a young boy who was learning very well. He was very bright, a big Balkishrin, and he had a tremendous chiyas in his learning. And when he would come home, he would just want to tell his father all the things the Rebbe said. He asked the Kash, and he said, the Teres, we learned this, and he was so enthusiastic, just talking and talking, one to the other. And his father was afraid that he's not eating. He said, listen, I want to hear everything. Wash, sit down and eat. And as we're eating, you'll tell me all the things that you learned. So the Dubna Magid said, when we say, Zochreinu L'chaim, we should be Yidden who are so immersed and so excited about Torah mitzvahs that the reason we're asking for Chaim is because Melech Chovetz b'Chaim. They wants us to live. My father wants me to have what to eat. But that's such a side thing. I should be so excited with Torah and Yiddishkeit. Yes, of course I take life because the Eibishter, the Chatata, he wants us to have. It sounds like such a madrege. Who's he talking to? This is what we're meant to be asking for. It's a tfiyah on us. When we ask for Chaim, we should ask it just because the Rebbe Shalom wants to give us Chaim. We're not interested in anything except for Torah mitzvahs. But we were zeiche to really see such an existence. We were zeiche to see Bochrim, David Olzain Gesund, who took his Bochrim, and many of them were interested in all sorts of Chaim and Chaim of Olam Hazeh, and became so connected to Limud HaTorah. I can't say for 24 hours a day, but there were hours you could see them. I'm not interested. Don't bother me with Chaim. Just don't bother me with Olam Hazeh. Just, I want to talk about Torah. I want to share. I want to go over again. And you saw Mamish Bochrim on fire like this. And you know what the explanation is? The Altaf in Kellam once explained Olam Hazeh. He said, I was sitting in a dark room, all the windows were closed, and I had a candle, and I was learning by the candle. So the candle was very important to me. When they opened up the windows and all the light came in, the candle became a burden. It says, Olam Hazeh is exciting, but until the real light comes in, it becomes mamish a burden. It becomes, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I have true light. I have emes. You know, we're all gathered here today, Rabbi Yisai. The Roshei Chabura, the Bnei Chabura, and there are others who are listening in other places, and we think that this is an asifa to be mechazik limud haTorah, but that's not what it's about. This is an asifa to be mechazik life, mamish, to give chayim to people, to give chayim to people. Rabbi Yeruchim once saw the King of England. I don't know where it was, and he saw all the opulence and the whole Yinunei Malchus, and he said, I have Rachmanis on the King of England. Yeruchim said, there's two types of Hana in this world. There's Hana of Kedusha and Hana of Tumah. There's nothing else. And the difference is, Hana of Kedusha is a Hana be'etzem. It's an essence of true Hana. Hana of Tumah is all dimyonis. It's all dimyon. It's just there to dispel the atzvus of the world, so you need to have a diversion to push you over till the next thing you don't know what to do. He said, a guy has in his house filled gold and silver. It's gold and silver. If he thinks about it, does it make any difference if the gold and silver is in Africa or if it's in his house? What's the difference there? It's a dimyon, just a dimyon. It says, what does the King of England have? Does he have anything that's be'etzem? Anything that's be'etzem? Hana of Kedusha is etzem. It's real life. It's real life. You, the Roshei Chabura and the Bnei HaChabura, you're ambassadors of life. Mamish, to deliver Chaim, because today, you mamish need Chiyas HaMesim. There's such a shefa of dimyon, of Hana that's kulei dimyon, and eventually it all explodes in people's faces. It explodes, all the redifa of Olam Hazeh explodes in the face, and Nebuch, and you see it in the generations. And people, there's a shefa of Nebuch, people are wallowing in misa. They're desperate for Chaim. Imagine having the ability, you have a special koyach, you're able to walk into a Beis HaKvaros and touch any matzev and bring that person back to life. Imagine, what would you do? Where would you go? That is the koyach. That is the koyach. that we can have by bringing people to real limud Torah. Avad Torah is Chaim. Chaya unota b'seicheinu. But it's an eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim bo. You have to be machzik in it. It's not enough to touch it. It's not enough to kiss the Sefer Torah. It's not enough to talk about the Sefer Torah. You have to have a kinyan in it. You have to be machzik bo. When it's machzik bo, then the person is being nurtured by the eitz Chaim. It's an eitz Chaim. This project, this Kinyan Torah. Kinyan Torah is a Kinyan Chazaka. A Yid who knows he has a Shleimus, has a Kinyan Hamasechta, is filled with life. He's filled with light. He can be a Zochreinu L'chaim type of Yid. And this is possible. This is really possible. And we've seen it. And perhaps this is why Be'ezus Hashem you're going to have Siyata D'Shmaya. They tell the story, I forgot about it, I think it was B'Shulei, one of the Gedolim, who received a very difficult Shaila. And he had to work for 3 or 4 days to come with a tshuva. And one of his Talmidim walked in the room and he saw the Shaila on the table, he lifted up and he said the answer. I said, how could it be? He says, the Rebbe had to work so many days. He said, yeah. He says, the Rebbe said, once I put in the Yigiyah, I put in the Haravanya, it's ready in the world, anybody else can come and take it. Not to this, Rabbi say. What all the Balabatim and all these groups are going to do is built on the Haravanya of all of these Bachrim. These Bachrim, who had a very difficult time, as you heard before. Bachrim had all sorts of nisyonis and all sorts of difficulties in learning. They were moise nefesh b'yigiyah to be koine these mesechtas with the hadracha of the Rebbe Muhammad, and that Messias, that yigiyah is going to be by all of Klal Yisrael. That is not going li'ibud. That is going to benefit all of the Balabatim who are going to join this program. We are going to be yoinik in the schus of these heilige Bachrim who did. It's really incomprehensible. Incomprehensible what they've accomplished and how they did it and how we've discovered the formula. Mamash of David revealed the secret. Yes, that's Megala Soid. Something that works, and we're seeing it over and over again. And that is the purpose of this gathering. to be mefarsam the Soid. The Soid of Chazorah, the Soid of Kinyan, the Simchas Achayim, the Simchas Achayim. Did you hear Reb David how many times in his drasha that was fired did he say the word sing the Gemara? Torah is a simcha. It's a hano be'etzem. It's not demiyonis. It's true. It's Allah belibam loy mashira. We said a person becomes true. The Torah is portrait. Allah beliba. His heart is misparet. He has to sing more hafti soirasecha kol hayoim yisichasi. He doesn't need the band to accompany him to get him to sing it. It comes out of him. It comes out of him. So the Eibishter will help that there should be a tremendous siyata d'shmaya, and there will be, because we're here for the Rebbeinu Shalom. We're here to be marbe kvod shamayim. We're here to bring life, to bring chayim to a melech was a schofetz b'chayim. He wants Yiddish kinder to live, to have a simchas achayim, to have a meaning, to have a tachlis. That Yiddish kinder, like we heard before, should be able to look up to their fathers, and their fathers should be proud. They should be Talmidei Chachomim. They should be Gemara Yidin. What happened to Gemara Yidin? There used to be Balabatim Shas Yidin. It's not legends. It's true. What happened today? Have we lost it forever? Should I finish? That's what we're here together. That's what we gathered together. The Eibishter helfen. There should be the Shechina Sheruya b'Masi Yodeichem. There should be tremendous siyata d'shmaya. We have the spark, we have the fire, and we have the people. We have the people who are filled with emes and filled with Ahavas HaTorah, and filled with Eish. And Be'ezus Hashem, we're going to see tremendous siyata d'shmai, tremendous hatzlocha. Maybe shall help in that this the schus should continue to be meroimim us, to elevate us, and we'll see, Taka, as we heard, we'll see a different Suras HaChaim in Klal Yisrael. We'll see a Yid Shalom Aleichem will be dripping with Gemara instead of what's the latest news. You hear this, some other shtus v'hevel, people stand there and the mamash mefatviv. Imagine seeing Yid standing outside a chasana and talking about Gemara instead of who knows what the shtus of it. There's no end to the Dvar Sicha B'Teila that comes out of it, because it doesn't. Imagine such a world. We can live to see such a world in our lifetime. Be'ez Hashem. The Eibishter's helping. We should be mispalel. The Eibishter knows that when we say Kiheim Chayenu, even with that deep in our hearts, all of us mean it with all of our souls. Shbizoich taksibich simetoyva gut gebencht ja sach nachas and atzloche shbizoich to be as Mashiach tzedkein and binyan beis hamidish meher b'yameinu amen. Amen.